TVEC, and welcome to the news at 9ish.
Good morning, Twin Valley Elementary Center. This is Logan
and Edwin
with today's announcements and a few words of wisdom.
Today is Friday, November 4th, and it's Cycle Day 12.
An American historian named Charles Kendall Adams once said, "No one ever achieves great success by simply doing what is required of him."
Mr. Adams is saying that successful people give a little extra effort. They go the extra mile. So ask yourself this: am I doing only what is asking of me, or am I willing to give a little extra often to be the best I could be?
Then try this little experiment. Tonight, surprise the adults at home by doing an extra chore around the house, but put in a little extra study time or practice 10 minutes on the musical instrument.
Follow the lead of great men and women everywhere and get into the habit of doing more than smiling.
Follow the lead of great men and women everywhere and get into the habit of doing more than simple what's required. With something to think about, this is Logan
and Edwin.
Make it a great day or not. This choice is yours.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America You may be seated. This is it. For a starter, dance to this, 'cause you're getting smarter. Help with light and kind. Just for a minute, it'll help your mind. Pride, pride, pride. Yeah. He'll toss this. Look, kids. He'll toss this. You better get hype, kids. Ring the bell, the school's back in. Stop. TVIC time.
Good morning, Twin Valley Elementary Center, and happy Friday morning to you. Thank goodness this is the last day of Halloween week. And thank goodness that the Phillies are in the World Series. I'm having so much fun watching those ball games and wearing my Phillies stuff, and I hope you guys are as well. So I want to get started right away. We have a bunch of classes that have leveled up, and I got my list here. Now, I'm not in the classrooms like I normally am because I am so far behind, I needed to catch up quickly. So here we go. We have leveled up classes. We got a bunch of them. Mrs. Cherlin's class leveled up, and they're going for level 3. Miss Burns' class leveled up, and they're going for level 5. That's incredible. Dr. Burns' class. Mrs. Haven's class is leveled up, and they're taking extra gym with Miss McHugh on level 1. We have Mrs. Abadusky's class who just recently leveled up. We have Miss Thee's class that has just leveled up, and Mrs. Ace Napier's class has just leveled up as well. So that's amazing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 classes have leveled up. So let me know what those prizes are on the Miss Abadusky, Miss Thies, Miss Ace Napira, and I'll change that board out there in front of the cafeteria. So congratulations to all those classes. Now, for the long overdue TVEX as well. Now, I'm going to catch myself up the best that I can this week, and then we're going to roll into probably a really long list next week. So here we go. We have from Mrs. Kirk, and this is for Auden Lammy in kindergarten. Auden does a great job listening and following directions in lunch every day. Auden, it's important to behave in that lunchroom. Listen, follow directions, be respectful, keep it clean in there, and keep the noise down. So Auden, really appreciate that. That's a TVEC to you. All right, Carter Flickinger in Mrs. Haven's class in kindergarten as well. Trying so hard to do a good job walking in line and making good choices in lunch. That's a TVEC for you, Carter. Evan Simons in Mrs. Haven's class. Evan is always willing to share his things and is a good friend. That's a TVEC for you. We have Mason Hennigan and Cora Shepard in Mrs. King's class, first grade. Perseverance. There's actually 2 perseverance ones this week. Perseverance. Cora and Mason do not give up, even when things are difficult. They say they have an I can do it attitude that will help them as they continue through school. I am super proud of them. Perseverance is you don't give up, you keep trying. And they've done a both good job. Whoops, there's 2 of them for you guys. Carson Termini from Mrs. Davies. Carson's in Miss McConn's class. So Carson was really respectful and the only one doing his job in the bus line. So the other kids probably weren't doing what they should be doing. Carson was. Carson, way to be a good kid. Thank you. Kellen Shell, Miss McConn's class. He's been working extra hard in the classroom, trying to stay focused and complete his work. I'm really happy to hear about that, Kellen. Please keep up the good work. We appreciate it. Next up, Annalie Hughes from Mrs. Rotoloni's class. Annalie always treats people with kindness and consideration. She shows people that she cares about them and consistently shows how to care about the school as well. Annalie, I missed. TVEC for you. All right, Mason Bolduck in Mrs. Berger's class. During reading workshop, Mason did a wonderful job paying attention, raising his hand, trying his best, and asking questions when he did not understand. Again, if you don't understand, please ask a question. Don't be too proud to ask a question. There's a TVEC for you, Mason. Jack Savage in Mrs. Cherlin's second grade classroom. Jack is consistent, pugtastic role model for our class. Thank you, Jack, for always trying your best to do the right thing and being a kind, wonderful human being. So, Jack, that's a TVEC for you. We have Gabriella Schneider in Miss Cherlin's class. Growing like a beanstalk and sharing awesome second grade thinking and reflections during reading. That's a TVEC for you, Gabriella. All right, we have another perseverance. We have Kinsley Barbado in Mrs. Hacker's class. Kinsley showed grit and perseverance all day. She dug her feet in and kept going, even when she could have given up on a really difficult problem. This intrinsic motivation in a kindergarten is extraordinary, and Kinsley is now modeling that for her peers and many who are following her example. So again, not giving up, staying at the problem, and that is all perseverance, which is so important to develop in all of you kids. So great job, Kinsley. I'm so proud of her and happy to have her as my student in this class from Mrs. Hacker. So Kinsley, that's a TVEC to you. We have, here we go, Parker Schwamm, Miss Thies' class. Parker's a wonderful role model in the classroom, participates in class discussions calmly. Whoops, that's a different one. Responses are out of this world. Keep it up, Parker. Parker can tell a story, too. I know that. All right, next up, Samantha S. in Dr. Burns' class. And this is a TVEC from PE class in Miss McHugh. She showed pride in PE by trying to handle a tough situation independently, calmly, and peacefully. She is showing leadership and integrity. That is awesome, Samantha. TVEC for you. Adriana Kutz in Dr. Burns' class. Adriana volunteered to help clean up the classroom at the end of the day. TVEC for you. Logan Jermo in Mrs. Weaver's class. Logan is very patient with his peers, supports them when they are faced with challenges and frustration. What a great friend. Sometimes we get frustrated, and having a friend by your side to cheer you on and have your back is important. So there you go, Logan. Olivia Lehman, Mrs. Weaver's class. She's a great role model, stays on task, makes quiet, transitions always. Oh, I missed. Sorry, Olivia. There we go. All right, Carson Groff, Miss McConn's class. Carson has been doing a great job keeping his desk organized so that he's able to find what he needs when he needs it. Carson, great job. I remember your desk last year, Carson. I don't think it was quite as organized, so I'm very proud of you. Growing up and being a great second grader, keep up the good work. Lachlan Petersheim from Mrs. Clemmer in Mrs. Lonsdale's class. Lachlan has been helpful and respectful from the very first day using the library. He selflessly straightens up and helps out without even being asked. Thank you, Lachlan. That's a TVEC for you from Mrs. Clemmer. Isabel McGowan from Mrs. Clemmer and Mrs. Ace in the Piers class. She has been such a help in the library. She helps Piers without being asked, which shows that she's has a very kind heart. Thank you, Isabel. Oh my, I missed that one. There you go. TVEC for you. And Zoe Bensinger, 4th grade, Mrs. Berger's class. During a reading workshop assignment, Zoe was extremely focused and tried her best. Zoe, I'm proud of you. And boy, you're getting tall. And I know I told you that the other day. But yeah, you are growing like a beanstalk there, Zoe. All right, so that's it. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Go Phillies. We're going to root for the Phillies. All right, you can get that song in your head now. All right, that's it. Remember, treat yourself well. Always be kind to others. Go Phils. Have a great weekend. Hope to see you at our Fall Fest. Later, everybody.